What's up, YouTube? Knight's Edge here again. Got a not an unboxing, but a little scale swap video for you, courtesy of Lanyard Man, Mr. Stephen Weigel. He sent a number of things to the channel for me to check out, including this MSI. Excuse me. So definitely, I'm gonna link him down. He's got a little channel on. I don't think he does very much stuff, but he might. Lanyard Man, it's at Lanyard Man. I'm gonna put it on there. Big shout out to him, man. Thank you so much for this opportunity to well, to dive into here and show you what I can't do. We'll see how it goes. I don't know, historically I haven't been excellent at disassemblies with crossbar locking mechanisms especially, but we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna try. Also, big shout out to all my Patreons. Everyone's a channel member recently. I really appreciate that, and hey, I'm just floored by the opportunity to do this. This is nuts, you know. So anyway, he ordered some scales from Original Goat. These are chunkers, man. I'm pretty excited about it. There's the information right there if you want to check them out. originalgoat.com for the scales, and as you saw a second ago, that is a Microtech. This is an MSI, as most of you already know. Microtech MSI. So these things are copper, I believe. Super heavy. You know. See how it goes. Look at that. That's pretty cool, huh? OG Original Goat, brass. So it is brass. I said copper. I don't know why I said copper, but brass. USA. Same thing on the other side, I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, brass, Original Goat, USA. So we are going to be taking these off. These G10 Coyote G10 scales off, and swapping him out with some brass scales. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, that's like a little preview, right, of what it's gonna look like. It should be pretty cool. Almost look like a weapon from like Elden Ring or something, huh? So anyway, driver wise, I have done a hardware check on this before. This is a T20. My T20 bit for the pivot. I got a backup here with this one for a T20. All right. Yeah, T20, and got my little NAFS, driver that I like there. That's for the body screws and the clip screws, the T8. So I'm gonna go ahead and start taking these out of here. Now, if I do have to cut at any point in time in the video, it'll be because my phone has been had some overheating issues lately. I film in my garage and it's pretty hot in here sometimes during the summertime. So just bear with me. I mean, if you see like a cut or something like that, that's probably the reason why. I also could go into a time lapse at any point in time, depending on how, you know, how crazy and complicated this gets. You know, I don't think I should put a video out that's like 3 hours long of me, me fighting this thing. But who knows, man? It might go easier. Might go easier than I think. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Can't blame me for being nervous if you've seen my previous disassembly videos. Man, that Deca, whew, that one was rough. Alright, these I'm going to put, maybe this is the right call, huh? Just put them in the new scale as they go. There, and Steven's left-handed also. I believe these are left-handed, with the way that the pocket clip's set up. Because if you'll notice, or I was noticing anyway, on this side you got that, on this side you have nothing, right? And this will be the right hand side. So that's a little tab for the clip. So I think you ordered some lefty ones, I believe. If not, Steven, you can definitely correct me in the comment section, sir. Alright, this goes to that, which is a lock. That goes to that. I'm wondering if it would be better. Maybe not. I was wondering if it'd be better to do it while it's disengaged, but I'm not sure about that. Let's see. Maybe so. Maybe there's less tension on it. I've seen other disassembly videos of this one, and then what they told me, Microtech uses red Loctite, which is crazy hard to disassemble. I don't see any on that one. That one was kind of hard to get out. That'll be for the that one's in there. I had to get the other. Swap out the T8 on this one. That one is definitely tight. That's crazy. Alright, broke that loose. Put that back in there so I don't forget. Alright, I'll put that one in there. Alright, the only thing that's left is a pivot. Break that big bad boy loose. That one's tight. Whew. Sorry about that. Having to hold it up to my chest off camera to try to loosen it up. That is crazy. It's a tight pivot for sure. And I don't think the backside. Yeah, the backside's not spinning, so that's good. Alright, now what I'm gonna try to do, and that is red, see that? Look at that. Little red Loctite there. Let me get out should I had some ready. Alcohol wipes. This out, see if I can clean that red Loctite off, that pivot screw. And the rest of them, I'll put on some blue Loctite. Just a small touch. Blue Loctite. Theoretically, this could work. I don't know if it will or not, but we'll see. What I'm going to try to do is set it all on there at once, which might not work. But we'll see, right? Try stuff out. I mean, that's how you don't know until you try, and after you try you really know sometimes, right? So let's take this off. Alright, that is your Microtech tan, coyote brown, whatever color scale, and we will put on this brass one. Hold that down, tighten up a couple of these. Tighten up that. Alright, and put a little bit of blue Loctite on here. Actually, I can get some more of that red off if I can. I hate it when I use that stuff. That red Loctite is a pain in the butt to break, man. Like if you ever want something to not come apart again, use red Loctite. But you better be sure. You better be sure you don't want it to come apart again. Alright. Take blue Loctite. A little bit of that on there. Alright. Sweet. Tighten this one up. Tighten this one up. This other body screw, tighten it up. A lot of stuff to tighten up here. A lot of hardware on this one, really. But it definitely helps that they have those really large screws, you know. That's definitely helpful. 100%. You know. It's still centered. Alright, here we go. Take the clip off. Well, they're pretty tight, but I have swapped this clip around, so on the clip I don't have anybody to blame but myself. Alright. Clip screws, put them on the side there. Alright, I think we'll go ahead and do like we did last time, in the same order that we did last time. From the ass end all the way to the front. We'll see how it goes. Steven's been a long time friend of the channel. I mean, I've only been a channel since January, you know, 24. But Steven's definitely sent me Lanyard Man, Steven Weigel. And also big shout out to Dominic. I can't remember if I did that in the beginning or not, but his son Dominic watches every now and then, so big shout out to him. Yeah, he has sent me several knives. He's traded me a knife, the Bel Air. Traded him for the Mannix, I believe. He has sent several knives to the channel to check out. And very graciously, the MSI told me hang on to it last time, and he said, well, look, I'm going to change the shipping with Original Goat, and I'll get them to ship it to you, sir. Oh, let's see. Get this one. Get that to break loose. Oh, that's pretty crazy. Trying to get that that little pivot screw to break loose on this. Seems that is the last holdup. Be that pivot screw. I'm wondering, like before, maybe if I close it, maybe that'll help. Man, excuse me. All right, definitely not a T25. I was just double checking because that T20 for God's sake is wanting to strip out. So let's. Did I get the brake loose? No. Damn it. Well, I wonder what the problem is there. Is the problem the red Loctite? I mean, is that simply the only issue with it? Kind of curious about that. This is definitely wanting to strip out. I mean, it is essentially stripped out. Now, usually, whenever that happens, you would go to your next size. But the next size, being a T25, it's too large still for that one. So, I have to figure out something with this. Definitely have to figure out something with this. I need to. I don't want to strip it out even more than what it's stripped out. Man, it looks good. Oh, shoot. Let's see. What is wrong? I wonder if I had to take this thing all the way apart and take this off. Might have to do that. I don't know. I was trying to avoid that. I was really hoping to have this side, do this side, flip it over, do this side, and be done with it. That's what I was aiming for. I didn't see any reason why I couldn't do that. But this thing is being a royal pain in the ass. For real. So, let's see. Hold on one second. I think I got an idea. Alright, folks. Nothing happened here. Definitely things did not go super south real quick. I know that, right? Yeah, they did. The T20 on the other side stripped out. As you saw I was starting to do earlier, I never got it out of there, out of the pivot barrel. I don't know if it's the red Loctite or what, but I took some cloth and put it like over this channel lock so I didn't damage the pivot barrel. Held on to that and cranked down on it really hard, and it stripped out a T20. You can see right there. Stripped out a T20, which is awesome. So I immediately messaged Mr. Lanyard Man. I was like, look, dude, I might have to buy you a new knife, man. I don't know. It's going pretty rough here. He informed me that he is going to replace the hardware anyway. And I did figure out how to do it without having to remove that one from the pivot barrel. So I put this back on here. But what you would do is just take the screw out of the other side of the little bolster, bushing, whatever you want to call it, there that holds the butt end of the lock in. Take that screw out, pull the lock out. It'll come out in two pieces. That's like a little rod that sits in there on a spring, and it kind of just goes back and forth. So once you pull that out, get that out the way, take the blade off, take the the washers come off the blade, and then pop the liner off, and you'll be looking at that, so that actually never had to be done. So if it helps you out whenever you're doing yours, or if you decide to do yours and you happen to be, for some ungodly reason, watching me for advice on how to do it, hopefully that helps somebody out. This is a pain in the butt, I can tell you that. definitely don't recommend that. Red Loctite was the thing. Like, I got this one out all right. Like, this one was starting to want to kind of strip, but it broke free and came out. But the other one on the other side, man, this is D-shaped, the liner, as you can see right there. So even with the liner being D-shaped, which holds the pivot barrel captive, right? Even with that, it still stripped a T20 out. So that damn Red Loctite, that'll get you. So just a heads up on that, in case you didn't know, you know, maybe it'll help someone out. Just be aware of that. You know, if you're changing your scales out to OG scales on a MSI, and maybe even on a Stitch or something else, with the ram lock, the amphibian, maybe, I don't know, that might help you out. That might help somebody out. Just know that you can pop that off with the MSI. At least you can, you know, take the lock off, take the blade off with the washers, and kind of maneuver the liner that's on this side. You know, maneuver it out, pop the pivot barrel out, and then just put your liner in your new scale. You know, just rest it down on there and put the pivot barrel back in without having to actually take the pivot screw out of the pivot barrel. If that makes any sense. That, and one thing I learned that I almost messed up on, but I didn't, is whenever you're doing the clip. So if you look on this side, you see that little tab right there? Well, this is the right-handed side. The tab stayed with it, right? But if you look at the left-handed side, I took the tab out. So whenever you're swapping out at least the OG goat scales, original goat scales, you want to take that tab out and put it in there and screw in your pocket clip ahead of time. Because if you put it all together and you forget that, well, then you're going to have to try to fish this thing up under here and catch it with a screw, maybe through the clip, or, you know, take the scale back off. So something to keep in mind too is that little tab will have to go in there. This other side is blanked out, as you can see. You know, it doesn't connect to the other side of the scale, so you don't need the tab for the other side. So that was something that I learned almost the hard way, and definitely learned that the hard way. So anyway, I didn't think I would never ever strip out a T20, but I did. So there's that. I'm gonna put some Slick Mall on these multi-row bearings here. Help them function pretty good there. Put the liner back on, the side liner. Pull that back, put that on. That is over that. That's nice and secure, I believe. All right, now we're gonna take the scale and put the scale back on. Put blue Loctite on those earlier. Might add a little. See how it goes. All right, so tighten one of these just so it's holding. I might have skipped this one. Did I put? No, I didn't put blue Loctite on this one. Always good to put a little blue Loctite on there. You know, never know what kind of vibrations or work it's going to be doing, you know. So the blue Loctite does help hold, you know, the screws in place. But the red Loctite, I can see earlier, you damn near need like a torch or some heat. You can do the red Loctite, so keep that in mind for sure. All right, so got those back on, put that back on. I'll go down with that. We're gonna just snug these for now. Good little bit of hardware. It's awesome that it's, you know, if this was all T6, I probably would have stripped out more, but it's all T8, so that helps a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws on each side, plus your 6, 7 with the pocket clip screws. That's 14 with the other side, so 14 T8 screws and 2 T20 screws total on this MSI. It's a good bit of screws. I'll take the pivot screw, some blue Loctite on there. Alright, now I messed up my other T20, so I'll screw it down with this one. Whoop. She's centered. Crank that one down a little bit. Might be a little too tight. Let's check centering. It's centered up. It's pretty centered. Looks like it. To me, anyway. Blade play. No blade play. Maybe just loosen it up a little bit. That feels pretty good. Usually when I'm putting a knife together, I will give myself a little, I'll make it a little bit stiffer than normal when I'm putting it back together, you know, like than how I would prefer it, I guess is the best way to say that. Just because eventually, you know, with enough opening and closing, the pivot will work itself, you know, looser, right? So that's one thing to keep in mind too whenever you're putting stuff back together. All right, now let me clean this off. What a beautiful knife. I love this thing, man. Wish I didn't have to send it back. And you can see on the other side there, see how that's stripped out? You know, I mean, from, I don't know, from a little far away, I guess you wouldn't notice it as much. I mean, you can still see it. But, you know, the other side was, like I said, this side was almost wanting to strip out too, but it broke free. But that side, man, I I put channel locks on there, holding it. I did everything I could think of. You know, and it stripped it out, but it you know, bent and messed up the T20 too, which is crazy. You know, that's nuts. I mean, that's a big ass you know, head on that one. Pocket clips good and secure. And go back over everything, make sure it's cranked down on. Make sure I got everything nice and tight on here. I want to send it back to Steven, and along with a stripped out pivot screw, he opens it up and then ka-chunk, the screw falls out. That'd be nice, huh? Thanks, TKE. Great job. Should have sent it to Carry and Cut. Carry and Cut's really good. If y'all haven't checked his channel out with Disassemblies, I recommend him all the time. Great dude. He's got a lot of good disassembly videos. All right, let's check her out here. Man, that almost has like a reverb when it goes back. A little stiff, like I said, but not, I did loosen it a little bit. When I disengage it, it is starting to fall shut a little bit. But I kind of want it a little over stiff first putting it back together like that. You know, just like I said, it will loosen up over time after carry and use and stuff for sure. You know, the bearings are clean. I cleaned out the insides of it, whether I wanted to or not. Took it totally apart, cleaned the spring, cleaned off the lock, the sliding little sliding deal there, the rod that's inside, the back spacer. Everything is cleaned out and good to go. That is a brass handled, original goat scaled Microtech MSI, mounted for lefty carry. And I'm gonna kind of, before I send it back, I think I'm gonna carry it a little bit, mess with it, try to break it in, you know. Want to make sure everything's all good with it, which I don't see why it wouldn't be, you know. Yeah, it looks good though, right? I mean, those scales are beautiful. I think he did a good job. Well, let's see how much this thing weighs first before I cut you loose, before the video ends. Let's see how much this thing weighs. I'm really curious about this. What would we say, around 12.5 ounces or so weighing the scales, but that was with these scales right on it already. So you know, I weighed the OG scale separate from the knife, so let's see what it weighs with the scales on there. 10 ounces. 10 ounces, hell yeah, over double the ounce and inch ratio. Sweet. Yeah, right at 10 ounces, so it's a chunker, man. Well, it looks good though. I think he said he's changing this hardware out too. Maybe he's gonna get some blacked out hardware or something. I don't know. Hopefully get rid of that that pivot screw there that I stripped out. Hopefully they give him a pivot barrel with it. That way you don't have to try to take this thing out of the, you know, take that screw out of the pivot barrel. Because I'm telling you, it was a pain in the ass. It is totally stripped out. I couldn't go up to a T25. You know, the next size up, that it wasn't stripped out that far to where it would work with that. And T20, which is what it is, was just rounding and rounding, you know. I could most definitely get that out with some heat, you know. But I didn't want to go that far with it. I think it looks good. So, yeah. Turn this back off, put it up. So, courtesy of Lanyard Man via Microtech and Original Goat, that is your scale swap. I'm going to edit the heck out of this thing so it's not like a 45-minute video. But I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for having patience with me. And let me know how your experience was in the comments, you know. Good, bad, ugly, you know, you can tell me all the cool stuff I did wrong, which I did learn a couple of things along the way, so maybe I'll retain that knowledge and it'll be easier next time I do something like this. I would love to get my hands on an MSI one day, you know. It's an awesome knife. I really like it. Really like it a lot. And again, shout out to Lanyard Man and Dominic. Also appreciate you sending this along, sir, and letting me play around with it. And thank you for watching. If you're not subscribed to the channel, if you like listening to me ramble, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to listen to it more. And if you want to support the channel, join the Patreon. It's linked down below. You can find these on BladeHQ, and that's going to be linked down below too on my affiliate link. Helps the channel out. So, yeah, I appreciate it, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.